Alright guys, back again. Second iteration of Volcano playthrough. Uh, version 2, I guess we could say, as this is a start over. And hopefully we got audio. Alright, headsets on, the mics should be hot. So first episode, did a bunch of ranting and raving and stuff, but we did get 2 cloak points. We're going to go back past the fuel point, try to get these 2 cloaking points, and then possibly come down this road and go back this way with the UAZ. Try to do as much recon as we can before we start actually working on logistics and getting lumber. Like I said, I'm probably not going to use the 7310 that's already loaded, because I don't know why they did that on this map, because this is not the hardest map. And if people can do speed runs of this map in like 20 minutes because of that, because you start with a truck with lumber and the objective is not that far away from the starting point. So it's maybe not the greatest choice by the devs to give you a truck with lumber in it on any map, really. I don't know why they would do that on any map. I mean, if any map should be done, it should be plains, because that's a total bitch of a map. Come on, see, diff on, diff off, diff on, diff off. That's so silly. So we're gonna get to this next cloak. Oh, come on. Oh, it was right there. Wow, it was in eyesight of the fuel point. This next cloaking, well, this will be our third uncloak. That's the other thing that's aggravating. Like, why is there not concrete in front of the garages? Like, some of the garages, you can literally get stuck with no winch points because there's no trees like right up next to a garage. You can get stuck in the garage, like trying to pull out or pull into the garage, because they turn into these muddy morass, you know, right in front of the garage. Like, why is there not concrete there? That just seems like insult to injury. Like, hey, this game's pretty tough. Oh, and here's your, you know, this is your home base, and we're gonna screw you from the start. Like, here is a vast mud pit right where you think you should be safe. I would change that as well. Like, all the garages should have concrete pads in front of them. You know, a little bit of concrete road. Because that just doesn't make sense. Alright. Well, let's see. I don't think we can get to that. Oh, dang it. Because of my previous experience on this map. So we'll probably leave that alone. Well, nope, I can see it already. Okay, well, that is 200 meters away. Can we get in high gear? I believe so. Let's get in high gear. Hey! That's the other thing, you know, and that's been modded too, is true gearbox. Like, you can actually shift manually through all the gears instead of just low and what is apparently just high gear in your transfer case. You know, why is it there's only an automatic transmission? And oh, here we go, we can unlock some trucks. Awesome. These start on concrete, or well, a hard surface for the most part. Oh, sweet. Can't get this. Awesome. Oh, right. You know, and I think that would be, I've never actually tried, I'm going to try it as soon as I get a crane to see if you can pick up the rocks and like load rocks. Like, why not have an objective where, hey, you got to get a load of rocks to a point? That would be awesome. And maybe you can give us dump beds. I know modders have introduced dump beds, which is cool. But you know, we need an objective like, hey, you got to get this many tons or whatever of rocks to this point, to this quarry, you know. And you pick them up with a crane. Of course, bulldozers would be awesome if you could actually scoop stuff up. I understand the mud, you probably can't do that, but the rocks are, you know, objects. So, you know, give us a scoop. Let us scoop up. Oh, shit. Look at where I'm at here. There's a lot of issues people, you know, have with the winch. Well, okay, so the winch is limited by the physics bubble. The physics bubble is the active area that your computer is running the physics engine. The physics engine is not running on the whole map because apparently that would, nobody's computer would be able to handle that if the physics were constantly being simulated for every object in the game at all times. So there's a physics bubble. That's why the trucks, you see the trucks, when you get close to them, they suddenly fall down because now the physics are acting on them when you get to a certain distance, and that's why they fall down after you get close to them. Same thing with the winch. The winch is limited by the physics bubble because the winch will physically affect the end point and your vehicle. So it can only go so far. Okay, that makes sense, right? I do have I have an issue though that like the oh, look at those rocks over there haven't they're still showing their 2D textures. Just look pretty funny, like starfish, and we are just not helping ourselves at all here. I came to the realization a long time ago that it's very hard to get the UAZ truly stuck. Very hard. You know, unless you actually have a rock under your suspension or in front of you. If you're just in straight mud or kind of sand, like I guess that would actually have been sand, it's almost impossible for the UAZ to become truly stuck. I don't know if it's because of its weight. It's so light, and the way the physics and tire grip and the mud's grippier than it should be. But like I'm at half throttle right now. I'm only using 1 liter a minute. Oop. Okay, I know it's to the left. It's basically beach out there, and the objective is that out that direction behind us. But the beach is pretty much impassable. There's no winch points on it. I don't want to mess with that because, like I said, there's no winch points. We may not get stuck like I was talking about, but we would just be slowly trudging through the mud, and I want to move on a little quicker. So to fix the winch point, like, I don't understand why like these fallen tree limbs, well, they're like baby trees. You know, you can winch an 8x8 fully loaded truck to a fallen baby sapling that's fallen on the ground. That's a stable winch point, but a standing tree stump is not. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I would rather those falling trees be removed from the game, or, you know, their physics totally changed so that they're not winchable objects. So they can still be in your way, but ultimately you can shove them out of the way with your truck. Now we'll see how unstable this vehicle becomes once we get to any speed, or slow down to almost nothing. So like the tree stumps, those should be winchable objects because, yeah, I don't get why tree stumps are not winchable objects. You know, the fallen trees I think should be removed from the winchable object library and just be obstacles that are not frozen to the ground on their pivot point. They can be moved out of the way or picked up with a crane and moved out of the way, whatever. Maybe make rocks, boulders of a certain size, winchable objects. That would be nice. Or maybe introduce, you know, if we had the economy system where you had to pay for upgrades, give us a winch anchor. A winch anchor is basically kind of a variation of a boat anchor that you go out, you walk out to a certain distance, and you stick it in the ground, and now it provides you a winch point. You have your own winch point, you know, that you can take with you and use basically anywhere. You can either wedge it between two rocks or dig it down in the dirt. That would be awesome, you know, and would make sense. Okay, let's do a map check. Okay, I think it's about to get real nasty, if I'm not mistaken. We probably should not venture down there. I'm not sure. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Oh, nope, nope. We're not good. Not good. Like I said, it's great to be able to modulate the throttle with a joystick, because like in real life, if you just 100% throttle all the time, you can actually dig yourself into a hole, where normally if you just did 25 to 30% throttle, the tires will not lose grip and overpower the mud, and you'll just keep moving along. All right, we're taking damage, but that's all right. Keep on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, now we're in trouble. Okay, we're in trouble. Yep. Yep, we're in trouble. And I knew we should... Oh, the engine off. Engine, stop. Stop. Wow, 6 points of damage left. Okay. So we'll abandon this vehicle. Oh, that's the other issue I have. Why is it easier to see without the headlights on? Like, what is going on? Why can I see better when I don't use headlights? Oh, that's good. I never started my timer. We're probably getting towards the end of 20 minutes. Alright, so back to the Type D. Why did I get 200 repair points? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, the tractor. Right? Is that what it is? Some reason the tractor attachment gives you like gives you a few repair points. Maybe because it's that I don't know. Why would that be? That just seems kind of odd. All right, so let's go get some fuel. Fuel. Like, the game should be this dark. Hold on. Let's get the camera to play. Come on, camera. Play along. Alright, well, the game should be as dark as it is without the headlights on all the time. I mean, at night, you know. Okay, now we're in morning. And not going the right way. I believe this fuel cistern is empty. Let's verify that. Yes, it is. So the tractor on an 8x8 gives you 200 points. I think on a C-type truck you get 100 points. God dang it. Not sure why. And they need to adjust the controls available for a gamepad. Like, for some reason, I don't know, I haven't figured out how to get advanced mode button on my gamepad, which is kind of annoying, so I have to constantly keep... and the winch point, you know, the winch point should be toggable. You know, there should be a button where you just cycle through winch points, and you can click a button to attach and detach. I think, you know, it's just kind of annoying that they give you gamepad functionality, but only it only goes so far, you know. You still have to use the keyboard for certain functions. So that gets a little frustrating. Yeah, not really frustrating, it's just annoying. Okay, I get it. Okay. I'm just happy I can steer and use my throttle joysticks now. And actually the D-pad on this Logitech controller makes the camera function a lot better for me. It kind of makes sense now, you know. That is so aggravating. Diff lock damage. You know, I think you can do a lot of the changes I've talked about, like reducing the tight tolerance on the diff lock damage, loosening that up, changing the mud so you don't sink as deep, but making the mud more slippery by basically reducing tire grip. I guess that's how you would do it. And the game would still be challenging, but it would be more realistic. And still be a challenge, you know, it wouldn't remove the challenge from the game. It would just make the challenge more believable. More like what we see in real life. Because this thing's pretty damn close to a simulator. I know they say it isn't, but come on. This is pretty hardcore for a off-road game, you know, not to be a simulator. Because there's no racing, right? It's like, what makes this a game? There's no racing. There's no... you know, I don't know what other functions this has that makes it a game. Other than... I don't know. I guess a lot of us players just don't see, like, where it's not a simulation. But hey, they say it's not a simulation. Okay, it's not a simulation. I just think that's kind of a cop-out that prevents them from producing the game to a certain standard, you know. Maybe it's not. Maybe they never intended it to be a simulation. From the first moment I saw this game, I was like, whoa, this is a badass driving off-road sim, because this is way more realistic than anything that's ever been done before. You know, this is a simulator. You know, that's what they're making. I mean, the graphics are good enough to be a simulator. I think the texture qualities on the trucks is great. So like I have diff lock and all wheel on, and I'm using less than 10 liters of fuel. Now, of course, now when I pull up on the throttle, it's going to start sucking gas. But, that's the great thing about a joystick. The keyboard, you're just 100% on, 100% off. You know, you can't modulate your fuel consumption with a keyboard. So, let's see, where are we at? I guess we're getting to this fuel point. We may be over our 20 minutes already. Time flies when I play this game. But we'll just so we have a good end and starting point. We will get to that fuel point before we stop. See, the Volcano has variations in mud depth and quality, right? Like, we're slipping. Like, it got slippery there, you know. But we did not sink to the full height of these giant tires. Unlike in Plains Map, where even on the roads, you would sink to the full height of the tire. It doesn't make any sense. And we may not actually make it to the fuel point. This is looking pretty bad. I don't know why is it different this time. Why haven't I so... They've been driving with all-wheel drive on too much. That's probably the problem. Alright, just there's a balance between sitting here and burning fuel, going nowhere, and turning all-wheel drive on for a moment and sucking up more fuel. Oh, I think we'll make it. It'll be close. It'll be real close. And this trail, you know, even though there's a bunch of roots and stuff that give you traction, the tires were still slipping. But we weren't sinking all the way down to the frame and still somehow moving. You know, so that's about realistic. See how deep the rear tires got there? This truck is just a beast. I mean, this truck is definitely the best truck in the game. Although the Kamaz, the little Kamaz 6x6, I'm telling you, everybody trash talks it. But I think it's pretty good. I enjoy driving that truck. I think it's a pretty good truck. Hey, we made it. Somebody posted a screenshot where they ran out of fuel and the front tire had just got crossed into the white box and they ran out of fuel. And of course their caption was, "You've got to be kidding me." I love the heat. I love the graphics in this game. We're gonna go whole hog here. Boom! That is one heavy trailer now. It looks like it's even sinking into the concrete. Alright guys, so this will be it for episode 2. I'll give you some motion sickness here. Can you get a good... No? Can't get a good angle here? Yeah, camera still... That does still need some work. Let's try. Yeah. Oh, whatever. Alright guys, we'll see you next time.